Before history had names, before Olympus ruled the skies, before gods were worshipped and feared by mortals, the universe was shaped by raw strength and ancient defiance. In that primordial age, when the sky itself could fall and the earth still remembered its creators, one figure was condemned to an eternal fate more terrible than death. A titan of unmatched power, frozen in endless suffering, forced to hold the very heavens apart from the world below. This is not just a story of punishment. It is a warning carved into the cosmos itself. Welcome to Shadows and Gods, where ancient myths rise from the darkness. And today, we uncover the true story of Atlas and how he came to bear the weight of the sky forever. We'll journey back to the epic war that shook the cosmos, witness the clash between Titans and Olympians, and uncover the real reason behind his unique and horrifying punishment. Before Zeus and his pantheon ruled from Mount Olympus, there was an older, more primordial generation of deities, the Titans, colossal children of Uranos the sky and Gaia the earth. They ruled the cosmos, and their king, Cronus, presided over a fabled golden age. In this era lived a second-generation Titan of unparalleled strength, Atlas. Atlas was the son of the Titan Iapetus and the sea nymph Clymene. His brothers were the clever Prometheus, the foolish Epimetheus, and the arrogant Menoetheus. While Prometheus was known for his foresight and Epimetheus for his terrible hindsight, Atlas was defined by one quality: his monumental strength. His name is often linked to an ancient Greek verb meaning to endure or to suffer, a chilling premonition of the fate that awaited him. In this primordial time, the universe was ruled by Atlas's uncle, Cronus. But Cronus was a paranoid king, haunted by a prophecy that he'd be overthrown by his own child. To prevent this, he did something monstrous. He swallowed each of his children, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, the moment they were born. His wife Rhea couldn't stand the thought of losing another child. For her sixth, she tricked Cronus, feeding him a rock wrapped in a blanket while she hid the infant on the island of Crete. That child's name was Zeus. Raised in secret, Zeus grew into a god of immense power. He returned not as a son, but as a challenger, tricking Cronus into disgorging his siblings. They emerged, fully grown and hungry for revenge. The lines were drawn for a war that would tear the universe apart. On one side, Cronus and the old guard of Titans. On the other, the young, ambitious Olympians. Most of Iapetus's sons had to choose. Prometheus, with his gift of foresight, knew the Titans were doomed and sided with Zeus. But Atlas, ever the warrior, fiercely loyal to his kin, made a different choice. He chose to stand with the Titans. He wouldn't just be a soldier in this war. He would become one of their primary leaders. What followed was the Titanomachy, the War of the Titans, a conflict so cataclysmic it raged for 10 long years. This wasn't just a battle. It was a cosmic civil war. The Olympians fought from Mount Olympus, while the Titans gathered their raw elemental power on the opposing Mount Othrys. As a leading commander for the Titan forces, Atlas's strength was legendary even among giants, and his will was unbreakable. He led the Titan armies with a ferocity born of pride and a refusal to yield to the younger gods. The earth groaned, the seas boiled, and the primordial chaos itself seemed to burn with the intensity of their war. For a decade, neither side could get the upper hand. The Titans' power was immense, but Zeus was a brilliant strategist. Heeding the advice of his grandmother Gaia, Zeus descended into Tartarus, the deepest pit of the underworld. There, Cronus had imprisoned other children of Gaia and Uranos, the 3 Cyclopes, one-eyed master craftsmen, and the 3 Hecatoncheires, terrifying monsters, each with 100 hands and 50 heads. According to some later myths, Zeus first had to kill a monstrous jailer named Campe to set them free. Grateful for their liberation, the Cyclopes and Hecatoncheires pledged their allegiance to the Olympians, In their forges, the Cyclopes crafted for Zeus the most powerful weapon the universe had ever seen, the thunderbolt. They also armed Poseidon with a mighty trident that could shake the earth and gave Hades a helmet of invisibility. The tide of the war turned. The Hecatoncheires were a force of pure destruction, unleashing a constant barrage of boulders at the Titan ranks. The sky cracked with the sound of Zeus's thunderbolts, searing the battlefield. The Titans, for all their strength, had never faced such overwhelming power. Atlas fought with the strength of a cornered lion, his roars of defiance echoing across the war-torn landscape. He rallied his forces again and again, but even his incredible strength couldn't hold back the inevitable. The combined might of the Olympians and their terrifying new allies was simply too much. One by one, the Titans fell. The climax of the war was an apocalypse. Zeus unleashed the full fury of his thunderbolts, and the world burned. The Titans were routed, their lines broken, their morale shattered. The defeated Titans faced swift and terrible judgment. Zeus, now the undisputed king of the gods, couldn't risk another rebellion. He had most of the Titans, including his father Cronus, bound in unbreakable chains and cast into Tartarus, the deepest abyss of the underworld. The Hecatoncheires, their former prisoners, now became their eternal jailers. But for Atlas, Zeus reserved a special punishment. Atlas hadn't just fought, he was a leader of the rebellion whose strength had prolonged the war. A simple prison wasn't enough. The punishment had to fit the crime and serve as an eternal warning. Zeus's judgment was both cruel and poetic. He decreed that Atlas, whose strength was used to try and overthrow the heavens, would now be tasked with holding them up for all eternity. Instead of being thrown into the darkness of Tartarus, Atlas was taken to the westernmost edge of the world, a place later identified with the Atlas Mountains in northwest Africa. There, he was condemned to a fate of eternal labor. To bear the entire celestial sphere upon his shoulders, he became Atlas Telamon, the enduring Atlas, forced to support the immeasurable weight of the sky to keep it from falling back to Earth. Let's be clear about a common misunderstanding. He wasn't holding up the planet Earth. Classical mythology is clear that Atlas held the heavens, the vast, revolving dome of the stars and constellations. He became the living pillar separating the sky from the earth. It was a torment designed to be both physical and psychological. His identity as a warrior was erased, replaced by the singular, monotonous function of his punishment. Some ancient poems say he held up great pillars that kept heaven and earth apart. But the essence of the punishment is the same. His immense strength, once his greatest pride, was now the instrument of his torture. It allowed him to endure the impossible weight, but because he was immortal, he could never find the release of death. He was trapped. Zeus's message was terrifyingly clear. He had transformed the Titan's great leader into a monument of defeat. Every sunrise, every sunset, every revolution of the stars was a testament to Atlas's servitude and a stark reminder of the price of rebellion. For ages, Atlas stood at his post. He became a fixture of the landscape, located near the mythical Garden of the Hesperides, home to a tree of golden apples. These apples were a wedding gift from Gaia to Hera, and were tended by nymphs who were often said to be Atlas's own daughters. What a cruel irony to be stationed for eternity near his children, yet unable to interact with them, his entire being consumed by his task. A 100-headed dragon named Lagan also guarded the precious fruit. Because he held the cosmos, Atlas became associated with astronomy and cartography. Ancient sailors and farmers looked to him as the one who knew the movements of the stars. Centuries later, this association inspired the 16th century cartographer Gerardus Mercator to use an image of a Titan on the title page of his collection of maps. He called his work an atlas, a name that has stuck for map collections ever since. Though Mercator's own writings suggest he may have been honoring a different mythical figure, King Atlas of Mauritania, the Titan's image has become inseparable from our maps of the world. It's a modern misconception that Atlas holds the Earth, likely because the celestial sphere he carries is often depicted as a globe. But the original myth is far more profound. He holds the heavens, the home of the very gods who condemned him, forever separating him from the earth below. His name was etched onto the ancient world. The great ocean stretching to the west became the Atlantic Ocean, the Sea of Atlas. The mountains where he stood his vigil were named the Atlas Mountains. He was no longer a person, but a place, a concept, a symbol of unending endurance. And there he would have remained, if not for two of Greek mythology's greatest heroes. Centuries later, the hero Heracles, son of Zeus, was performing his 12 labors. His 11th task was to steal the golden apples from the garden of the Hesperides. After a long journey, Heracles learned a secret from Atlas's brother, Prometheus, whom he had freed from his own torment. Don't get the apples yourself. Ask Atlas to do it. Heracles found the mighty Titan groaning under his celestial load and made him a cunning offer. He, Heracles, would take the sky onto his own shoulders and temporarily relieve the Titan. In exchange, Atlas, as the father of the Hesperides, could go into the garden and fetch the apples. For Atlas, this was a temptation beyond belief. To stand straight, to relax, to be free of the crushing weight for even a few moments. It was an ecstasy he hadn't known in ages. He readily agreed. Heracles, with a roar of effort, took the heavens on his back. For the first time in millennia, Atlas was free. He walked into the garden, past the dragon laden, and got the apples from his daughters. But as he returned, a treacherous idea took root. He saw Heracles straining and realized he had a chance for permanent freedom. He told the hero he would deliver the apples to the king himself, leaving Heracles trapped forever. Heracles, facing the same fate as Atlas, had to think fast. He pretended to agree. "Of course," he said, "but could you do me a quick favor? Just take the sky back for one moment, while I put a pad on my shoulders so the weight doesn't crush me." Atlas, giddy with freedom and a bit of arrogance, saw no harm in it. He set the apples down and heaved the celestial sphere back onto his shoulders. The second the weight was settled, Heracles grabbed the apples, offered a quick goodbye, and walked away. The trickster had been tricked. Atlas was left as he was before, with his brief taste of freedom making his eternal punishment all the more bitter. Another hero who crossed paths with Atlas was Perseus. Fresh from slaying the Gorgon Medusa, Perseus was flying over Africa with her severed head in a bag. He arrived in Atlas's lands at dusk, seeking a place to rest. Here the story takes a different turn, thanks to the Roman poet Ovid. In his version, Atlas isn't the sky bearer yet, but a fabulously wealthy king who ruled at the western edge of the world. His greatest treasure was a grove of golden-leaved, golden-fruited trees. An old prophecy had warned Atlas that a son of Jupiter, the Roman name for Zeus, would one day come and steal his treasure. When Perseus introduced himself as a son of Zeus, Atlas became hostile. Remembering the prophecy, he rudely refused the hero hospitality. Enraged by the insult, Perseus decided to give the king a permanent gift. "Since my friendship means so little," Perseus declared, "accept a gift from me." He turned his own face away and pulled Medusa's head from the bag. The effect was instantaneous. As Atlas stared into the Gorgon's dead eyes, he began to turn to stone. His massive body hardened and grew. His flesh and bone became rock. His hair and beard, forests. His shoulders became mountain ridges, and his head, the highest peak. Ovid vividly describes how Atlas became the mountain range that still bears his name. And in this form, his punishment was fused with his very being. The heavens, with all their stars, still rested upon his summit, merging the two myths into one tragic fate. From a mighty warrior to a symbol of eternal struggle, Atlas's story is one of the most enduring in Greek mythology. He represents the ultimate consequence of rebelling against the divine order. Yet, he is also a profound symbol of endurance, strength, and the immense weight of responsibility. He's the archetypal figure who bears an impossible burden, a theme that has resonated for thousands of years. His name is literally written across our world. The Atlas Mountains are said to be his petrified form, and the Atlantic Ocean is the Sea of Atlas. We still speak of people carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders, a direct echo of Atlas's punishment. His story explores rebellion, punishment, and a tragic form of resilience. He lost the war, was tricked by one hero, and was turned to stone by another. But through it all, he endures. He has to. He is a constant, a fixed point in a revolving universe. His story a cautionary tale about the price of defiance and a timeless symbol of the burdens we all must bear. From a fearsome Titan leader to a stone mountain holding up the sky, the myth of Atlas is a powerful story of crime and punishment on a cosmic scale. For his defiance, he was singled out for a fate worse than prison. He became a living symbol of Zeus's power, a warning etched into the geography and astronomy of the world. His story is a testament to the brutal justice of the Greek gods, and a timeless exploration of strength, struggle, and the agonizing weight of an eternal burden.